Number 1. To begin with, I want to explain where we lived. We lived out in the foothills on 5 acres of land down a gravel road. We owned horses and pigs and all that jazz. No houses close. However, you could cross a creek behind the house and over a small town hill to a gated community. However, you would never want to go outside due to the mountain lions lurking around at night. Needless to say, other than our floodlights on the house, there were no lights around. Ever. So one night, my dad was working late, which ironically never happened. My brother, myself and my mum were home alone in our very large house. I was only about 6 years old, but I remember all of this vividly. For whatever reason, I was sleeping in my parents' room with my mum that night, and my brother in his room. All of a sudden my brother comes bursting in the bedroom around 3 AM, slams and locks my parents' bedroom door, and says that he's hearing someone whispering his name and telling him to come out and play. That sounds like it's coming from the closet or from the window, which are right next to each other. My mum, thinking that my brother is dreaming or that his neighbor friend across the creek is messing around with him, especially since our rooms were on the 2nd floor, makes us wait in her room and goes to check things out. When she walks in, she hears some shuffling noises towards the window and hurries back into the bedroom and locks it. She calls the police, who show up 20 to 30 minutes later, while we sit quietly staring out at her window to see if anything is there. Police search the house and property and find nothing but roof shinglings on our front yard, which is where my brother's room faces. Side note, our house had a small little awning over the front porch, so someone could easily walk on it in front of our 2nd-story windows facing the front yard. However, they warned us that there are many hiding places around the house, so they will monitor the house for a bit. Around 6 AM, my dad gets home to police sitting outside. He informs them that he saw a man jogging down our gravel road towards the main road wearing all dark clothing. They thought it was strange since, 1, in our area you don't ever go jogging early in the morning because that's when mountain lions feed, and 2, he was not in any type of workout gear. Turns out, they caught the guy and he was breaking into homes in the gated community and tried to lure kids walking from the bus stop to his car. So, scary man whispering to my brother, let's not meet. Number 2. Alright, so my next door neighbour's parents moved from India to the UK back in the 1960s. After retiring, they made a habit of heading back there every year to visit family and friends, ultimately spending around half their time travelling through India and half their time here. Long story short, one year, they invite my family along. I was 15, now 25, and thought that I was some badass Viking rock prince because I had long blonde hair and red kerang. Now, my neighbour's dad has planned this holiday like it's a military campaign. When we arrive, he hands each of us, including my 11-year-old brother and sister, a brown folder containing our itinerary, hotel brochures, money conversion charts, train timetables, 4 passport photos of ourselves for forms, etc., and a list of names under the header, useful people. Forget Viking rock prince, I'm James fucking Bond. Other than the fact that I was mistaken for a girl on several occasions, I had an amazing time. Until we rock up to this huge hotel in the middle of the jungle. Honestly, the arse end of nowhere. The nearest village is a 3-hour drive down a dirt road. Just before sunset in the fucking jungle, I pull out the brochure. And it'd be safe to say that the place is under new management. There is a single light on about 5 stories up. As we pull into the drive, we spot a group of men clustered around a large fire. One of them stands and starts shouting something, but is silenced by the guy next to him with a slap to the back of his head. One of the group members comes sauntering over and motions our driver to wind down the window. Imagine Alfred Hitchcock as an Indian drug lord, and you'll have a pretty good idea of the man now flapping his jowls through our window. He peers into the back, spots us, and cracks the dictionary definition of a shit-eating grin. In broken English, he welcomes us to the hotel, glances over our reservations, and ushers us into the lobby. This is when shit gets really weird. The place is deserted. Not the staff have gone to bed deserted. It was like whoever was here fucking noped out of this place in a hurry deserted. There were toppled chairs in the lobby. Hitchcock tells us that our rooms aren't ready. It's now 9 PM and offers us some food while we wait. The dining room is huge, empty, and our order is taken by a boy no older than 9 who promptly vanishes, closing the doors behind him. We hear a motorbike engine outside, and an hour later, something vaguely resembling our order appears on a variety of mismatched dinnerware. No idea where any of it came from. At this point, we were all pretty unnerved and everyone started making lame jokes to ease the tension. We were only there for one night, everything had been paid for in advance, and we were a large group of 11, with 2 people who spoke Hindi and Konkani, so we felt pretty sure we could deal with any weirdness. Hitchcock waddles in and takes us to our rooms. Every one of them is stripped bare, apart from the beds and bedside tables. Exposed wires poke out of the walls where you'd expect a TV and or a phone, and there are rectangular patches of discolored wallpaper suggesting that someone finally took a stand against terrible hotel artwork. The only decoration is this creepy little metal horse that's just sitting on one of the bedside tables. I'm sharing a room with my little brother and insist on taking the bed closest to the door, presumably thinking that I could summon Thor if things got hairy. Hitchcock lingers in our doorway for a while, flashing his pearly browns and giving me the rape eyes. I close the door on him, and we dump our bags, check the door is locked, and have some bro chats until we pass out. I woke up, no idea what time it was, to hear the door to my room clicking shut. The door that is not further than a foot from my head. Fuck that. I'm no Viking rock prince, I'm a flying baby that plays a harp. I cower under the surprisingly clean blankets until my heart stops threatening to bust out of my ribs. Stealthy ninja roll out of my bed and to the door. The bastard is unlocked. Fuck this. Barricade that shit with the bedside table, check little brother is alive, get into bed, see our bags, add them to the barricade, and notice that mine is open. My bag is open. Fuck this. Now, here's the strange part. Nothing's missing. Camera, wallet, clothes, super secret spy dossier, everything is intact. I convinced myself that I shat my pants over nothing and got back to sleep. Side note, my little brother slept through the whole thing. Morning comes and we all want to get out of there as soon as possible. The neighbor's dad kicks off about how weird the whole thing is to Hitchcock and gets us half of our money back. Excellent. We head out and my sister points out the charred remains of one of the hotel beds in what's left of the fire pit. Excellent. Turns out that our driver, who had a room in the place, had decided to sleep in the bus because, in his own words, he didn't want their funny business. Apparently, there were people coming and going out all night. He woke up to see a guy, nose against the window, just staring in at him. The driver hit the window and the dude scampered off into the jungle like fucking Mowgli. We give the driver an extra huge tip. Hitchcock waves at us from the lobby, adjusts his crotch and plods back in. We leave, thinking the weirdness is over. About an hour into the journey, I decide to take a look at our itinerary, so I pull out my spy folder. My heart instantly sinks. One of my passport photos is gone, a perfect 35 by 45mm rectangle missing from the corner. 3 little Viking rock cherubs stare up at me, mourning their fallen brother. I search the folder, ask my parents if they took it for something, start losing my shit. Everything from the night before rushes back. I explain what happened, and there's this weird moment of silence while everyone looks at each other. Turns out, that everybody heard someone outside at their door at some point during the night, but made sure to deadbolt their doors before going to sleep. Bro, I had no deadbolt. Hitchcock put us in that fucking room on purpose. The driver suggests that we head back to the hotel and demand satisfaction. Tips galore for driver. We drive all the way back to the hotel. The doors are padlocked. Hitchcock and his cronies have vanished. The cherry on top of this mindfuck cake is the horse. The little metal horse that was sat on our bedside table has been placed on the step in front of the doors. I took it. Free souvenir. Fuck you, Hitchcock. So that's where this creepy, strange incident finished. And I hope I really never see these guys again. Number 3. This event happened to 2 close friends of mine who were living together in a small 2-bedroom apartment in the Lower East Side. It's a short story, but I thought it was terrifying both because of what happened and what could have happened. Their apartment was on the 5th floor of a 5-story building. The building directly adjacent to them was only 4 stories, and the view from their living room window was the roof of the building, so they rarely bothered to draw their curtains or lock their windows. One night, both of my friends were in their bedrooms, getting ready for bed. They heard a crash outside and ran to the living room window, where they looked down. 5 stories below them, they could see the dark figure of a man sprawled in the alleyway. They immediately called the police, who arrived and confirmed that the man was dead and had died instantly upon impact. Next to his body, the police found a wooden plank and were able to piece together the manner of his death. Apparently, the man had been watching my friends for a while and decided that night to traverse the gap from the roof of the next door building to the window of their living room using only a wooden board. There was a small knife in his pocket. This was extremely traumatizing for both of my friends, who had no idea they were essentially being stalked. Even though this happened in 2012 and they no longer live together or in that building, they both confided that they still have trouble being in their house alone. I don't really blame them. So creepy deceased stalker, I'm very relieved that my friends did not ever have to formally meet you.